to not only non-justificate but also Good day. Thanks for joining the Gallery TV News Updates at 12. I am Oluwatomi Oberdi. The news headlines. No agreements with federal government. Strike not ending soon, says ASU, SANU and NASU. Resignation Directive. Amaechi, Sylva, Tallen, orders to go today. Deborah, Northern governors condemn killing, call for calm. On business news, Tin Can Port is collapsing, says NPA. On sports news, NFF names Joseph Pesero as new Super Eagles head coach. On entertainment news, Burna Boy performs Last for first time at Billboard Music Awards. On foreign news, gunman killed 10 in racially motivated shooting at US markets. Now the news in details. No agreement with federal government, strike no ending soon. ASU, SANU and NASU. The Academic Staff Union of Universities and Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities have said the federal government did not reach a strong agreement with them that can lead to calling off the industrial actions. All the university unions in the country are presently on strike. ASU started its strike on February 14, 2022 and JAC commenced its own on April 14, 2022. The unions embarked on industrial actions while demanding improved welfare packages, better working conditions and implementation of various labor agreements signed with the federal government between 2009 and 2020. The national leaders of ASU and JAC of SANU and NASU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke and Mr. Mohamed Ibrahim, respectively told our correspondents that the federal government and all stakeholders in the education sector and religious leaders had a meeting with the four unions but no strong agreements were reached. Osodeke said in Ngige's claim after the meeting that the unions would call off the ongoing strike this week. Ibrahim added that the major progress he could point at during the meeting was the ordering of the National Information Technology Development Agency by the presidency, who was represented by the Chief of Staff to the President and Chairman of the meeting, Professor Iman Ibrahim Gambari, to subject to 3 payment solutions: an integrated payroll and personal information system, University Transparency and Accountability Solution, and University Peculiar Payroll Payment System, to integrity and submit in 3 weeks. Resignation Directive. Amaechi, Sylva, Tallen, orders to go today. Friday's resignation of Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Uche Oga, increased the number of ministers who excited the contest election to 4. Those who resigned earlier are Emeka Onwajioba, Minister of State for Education, Ogbonaya Onu, Minister of Science and Technology, and Godswill Akpabio, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. All the members of Federal Executive Council, FEC, and heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, MDA, seeking party tickets have still today to exit government. Yesterday, Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, a presidential aspirant, said he will bow out of government today. 2 of the 10 cabinet members, Dr. Chris Ngige and Abubakar Malami, dropped their ambition so as to remain in the cabinet. 3 other ministers, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Tempere Sylva, Minister of State for Niger Delta Affairs, Tayo Alaso Adora, and Women Affairs Minister, Mrs. Pauline Tallen, are expected to leave government today. The youngest member of FEC, 38-year-old Ahmad Zakari, the presidential advisor on power, is also expected to resign, having obtained forms seeking nomination to run for governor of Jigawa State. Speaking on the matter yesterday, Director of Information in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF, Willie Baston, said SGF boss Mustafa is only a conveyor of the responses to the President. Still on the news, Deborah, Northern governors condemn killing, call for calm. Though it took days to come, the Northern Governors Forum, NGF, has condemned the killing of Deborah Solomon Yakubu, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto State, on allegations of blasphemy. While calling for calm, the chairman of the forum and governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, in a statement yesterday expressed the governor's concern about the developments, which was clearly an extrajudicial measure of addressing perceived infractions. Deborah, a second-year student of home economics, was killed on Thursday following an allegation that she was blasphemed the President of Islam. The victim was stoned to death and her body burnt by a mob of Muslim students after she made a post that deemed insulted Prophet Muhammad. Her body was buried on Saturday evening in her hometown, Sungamagaya, Regional Council of Niger State. Her death has sparked outrage from various individuals and groups across the country, including the Christian community, who demanded that her killers be brought to justice. Lalong frowned at the adoption of self-help in addressing grievances, whether religious or otherwise, which he observed could only lead to further chaos that could threaten law and order as well as the general peace and security of the society. The NGF, while commiserating with the family of the victim, urged security agencies to thoroughly investigate the matter and ensure that the law takes its full course on anyone found wanting or culpable in circumstance. In the aftermath of the 24 curfew imposed on Sokoto Metropolis on Saturday, normalcy yesterday gradually returned to the city, ravaged by violent protests at the weekend. The curfew announced in a statewide broadcast by Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal was to stem the violent protests sparked by a procession along major streets, demanding the release of the two suspects Sokoto Police Command claimed they are in their custody with regards to the gruesome killing. In a related development, the State Police Command refuted the allegation that a top police source in the command has categorized one of the suspects during the incident as a foreign intruder from the Niger Republic, who came in illegally to perpetrate the act. The command spokesman ASP Sanusi Abubakar in a statement said the fabricated publication, which claimed the sources from the command, is falsehood and cannot be substantiated. Meanwhile, the Sokoto state government had announced the suspension of the resumption of basic and secondary schools in the state by 1 week. Schools were supposed to resume yesterday and today for boarding and day schools. The suspension was announced via a statement by Ibrahim Iya, spokesman of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, yesterday in Sokoto. It said that the suspension was a sequel to the 24-hour curfew declared by the government. It added the Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education, Bello Giwa, directed all public and private schools to resume on May 22nd for boarding and May 23rd for day students. However, final year students who are supposed to begin their West African examinations and so WAEC examination on Monday, May 16th are not affected. Parents and teachers and Parents-Teachers Associations, PTAs, are expected to comply with the directive. Parents of the deceased have described the death of their daughter as sad and painful, saying they have left the killers to God. Reacting to the death of their daughter, the bereaved parents said they have nothing to say or do regarding the loss of their child, but have decided to leave everything in the hands of God. Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, OINZ Indigo, has also condemned in very strong terms the unwarranted destruction of Igbo property and business outfits during the protest by Muslim faithful in Sokoto at the weekend. In a statement on Sunday evening by the National Publicity Secretary, Dr. Alex Ogunaya Ohaneze, wondered about the nexus between the Igbo traders and Ms. Deborah, an indigene of Niger State, to warrant the destruction of Igbo properties. Yoruba militant body Oduwa People's Congress (OPC) yesterday also called on the federal government and northern leaders to intervene and halt with immediate effect the ongoing end to religious violence in Sokoto and other northern states. Now on business news. Tin Can Port is collapsing, says NPA. The Nigerian Ports Authority has said the Tin Can Island port is collapsing, saying that more attention should be focused more on rehabilitating the quay walls of the port. Speaking over the weekend, the managing director of NPA, Mr. Mohammed Bello Koko, said that the agency has taken a holistic review of the decaying parts of the port. He added that the agency has started discussing with some lending agencies, stressing that the agency did not have intentions to borrow. Bello Koko said that the introduction of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission Act meant that renewal of concession agreements for terminal operators was no longer done the way it should be done. He said his agency was asking those whose leases had expired how much they would be to be investing in the port. The NPA boss also said that before the agency will renew the concession agreement of some terminal operators, there must be an agreement on the development of the port. He, however, said that the affected terminals would not want the agencies to rehabilitate the ports. He also revealed that 5 terminal operators were being monitored to ensure they did the right things regarding their commitments and obligations agreed under the Port Concession Agreement. Bello Coco also disclosed that the affected terminal operators had been given temporary 6-month renewal with conditions to meet before they would have the concession agreement renewed permanently. On sport news, NFF names Joseph Peseiro as new Super Eagles head coach. Joseph Peseiro had been named as the Super Eagles head coach months after his initial deal with Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) collapsed. An NFF statement on Sunday said the appointment is with immediate effect, subject to the signing of agreed terms between the football body and the Portuguese. Peseiro is expected to lead out the Super Eagles for the first time during the upcoming tour of the United States of America, during which the 3-time African champions will slug it out in Mexico and Ecuador, 8 teams in prestige friendlies, the statement added. The Eagles will tango with the L3 at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas and State of Texas on Saturday, 28 May, before flying to New Jersey to confront Ecuador at the Red Bull Arena in Harrison on Thursday, 2nd June. The educationist with a degree in physical education and sports sciences will be assisted by former international judge Finidi Salisu Yusuf, who will now serve as the second assistant as well as head coach of the Chan and under-23 national teams. Peseiro, 62, featured as a striker during his playing days and has a wide range of experience coaching several clubs and national teams across Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America. He has also coached at Sporting Lisbon, FC Porto, Panathinaikos, Rapid Bucharest, Sporting Braga, Victoria Guimarães, Al Hilal, and Al Wahda, and also Real Madrid assistant coach during the Galacticos era. Aside from this, he worked as head coach at the South Arabian and Venezuelan national teams. Before Sunday's confirmation, the Glass House had appointed Peseiro as the head coach of the 3-time African champions following Gernot Rohr's dismissal in December. Austin Eguavoen was handed an interim coach role to take Nigeria to the 2021 African Cup of Nations AFCON. Peseiro was then expected to be an observer during the competition, after which he would take over and lead the country to the ill-fated World Cup playoff with Ghana. But the NFF backtracked on the move after the AFCON, citing a positive performance of the team at the competition when Nigeria crashed out in a round of 16 against Tunisia. In the wake of the decision, Peseiro refuted claims that he was confirmed as a Nigerian head coach. The former Porto FC boss wrote on his Instagram and that it was a fact that he never confirmed, and these negotiations did not materialize due to disagreements regarding contractual clauses and financial matters. Days after the Super Eagles of Nigeria failed to pick one of Africa's tickets to the 2022 World Cup, Eguavoen, however, quit his post. Now on entertainment news. Burna Boy performs Last for first time at Billboard Music Awards. Globally recognized Nigerian singer Damini Ogulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, performed his latest song Last for the first time at the Billboard Music Awards. It was another first for the year crooner as he also made his debut BBMA's performance. Last, which was released on Friday, was Burna Boy's first single off his next album, Love Damini. In a video shared on Billboard's official page before the performance, Burna Boy talked about making his debut at the prestigious awards ceremony, which held at MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Burna Boy talked about love and heartbreak in Last, and will release Love Damini in July, his birth month. Lastly, on foreign news, gunman killed 10 in racially motivated shooting at U.S. supermarket. A heavily armed 18-year-old white man shot 10 people dead on Saturday at a Buffalo, New York grocery store in a racially motivated attack that he live-streamed on camera, authorities said. The gunman, who was wearing body armor and helmet, was arrested after the massacre. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia told a news conference. Gramaglia put a total of 10 dead and 3 wounded. 11 of the victims were African Americans. The gunman shot 4 people in the parking lot of the top supermarket. 3 of them fatally, then went inside and continued firing, Gramaglia said. Among those killed inside the store was a retired police officer working as an armed security guard. The guard engaged the suspect, fired multiple shots, but the gunman shot him, Gramaglia added. When police arrived, the shooter put the gun to his neck but was stopped down and surrendered. Stephen Bogolonia, special agent in charge of the FBI Buffalo's field office, told in news conference that the shooting is being investigated as the 8th crime. Erie County's Sheriff John Garcia described the attack as pure evil when asked what information led authorities to term the attack an 8th crime. Erie County District Attorney John Flynn said they had evidence indicating racial animosity but declined to elaborate. U.S. media outlets have reported officials are investigating a detailed manifesto posted online before the shooting, in which the suspect outlines his plans and racial motivations for the attack. Quoting from the manifesto, the New York Times reported the suspect had been inspired by white supremacist acts of violence, including the massacre of 51 Muslims in Christchurch, New Zealand in March 2019. A semi-automatic weapon used in Saturday's shooting also had a racial epithet written on it, as well as the number 14, a reference to a white supremacist phrase, according to local daily The Buffalo News citing a local official. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said U.S. President Joe Biden had been briefed on the horrific shooting. The governor of New York, Katie Hochul, described the killings as a horrific white supremacist shooting. A spokesman for streaming service tweet confirmed to AFP that the shooter used the service to broadcast the attack. That is it on the news update at 12. I am Oluwatomi Oberodi. Thanks for watching and do have a lovely day.
Life of people not only in United States but also
However, due to lack of specific dialysis machine.
The first dialysis development is announced difficult in the 2021 budget